Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrutyam
Narayanam Namaskrutyam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikir.
Bhakti Bhavati Naishviki.
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, observing the armies, text 15. So if you have Bhagavad Gita with you, you can open and you can repeat after me. Panchajanya Rishikesho
Panchajanya Rishikesho
Devadattam Dhanunjayaha
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Paundram Dadhamau Mahashankham
Paundram Dadhamau Mahashankham
Bhima Karma Vrukodharaha
Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Devadattam Dhanunjayaha
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Paundram Dadhamau Mahashankham
Paundram Dadhamau Mahashankham
Bhima Karma Vrukodharaha
Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Devadattam Dhanunjayaha
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Paundra Dadhama Mahashankham
Paundram Dadhamau Mahashankham
Bhima Karma Vrukodharaha.
Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha.
So, word to word meaning. Panchajanyam. You can repeat after me. The conch shell name Panchajanya.
The conscious name Panchajanya.
Rishikesha.
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 Krishna, the Lord who directs the senses of the devotees.
Krishna, the Lord who directs the senses of the devotees.
Devadattam.
Devadattam.
The conch shell name Devadatta.
The conscious name Devadatta.
Dhananjayaha.
Dhananjaya.
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 Arjuna, the winner of wealth.
Arjuna, the winner of wealth.
Poundram.
Poundram.
The conch shell now Poundra.
The conscious name Poundram.
Dadhamahu.
Dadhamau.
Blue.
Blue.
Mahashankham.
Mahashankham.
The terrific conch shell.
The terrific conscious.
Bhima Karma.
Bhima Karma.
The one who performs Herculean tasks.
The one who performs
Vrukodharaha.
Vrikodaraha.
The voracious eater.
The voracious eater.
Bhima.
Bhima.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Krishna blowed his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blowed the Devadatta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blow his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Purport. Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The imbeciles cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless or impersonal. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses, but He directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in the case of a pure devotee, He directly controls the senses. Here, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Krishikesha. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as a son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandana because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandana because he awarded his childhood pastime to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Partha Saradi because he worked as charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave directions to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Vrukodhara because he could eat as voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks, such as killing the demon Hidamba. So, the particular type of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of Pandavas, beginning with the Lord, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Director, nor that of the Goddess of Fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle. And that was the message announced by the sounds of the conch shell. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशवे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Translation: Lord Krishna blow his conch shell called Panchajanya, Arjuna blow his the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and the performer of Herculean tasks, blow his terrific conch shell called Paundra. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the weekly classes of Bhagavad Gita. So we were discussing about the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, and today's text is 15th text. So just a quick recap. So we were discussed in the previous classes about how the Duryodhana was encouraging his members in the battlefield, like Bhishma, Dronacharya, and other members, and he was boosting them to fight, and he was predicting that because of having a great warriors from his side, thinking that there is a victory for Kauravas. So, and they are very with that joy, thinking that they are going to win the battle with the Pandavas. So they also blowed their conchs. And and in the today's verse, you can see how Lord Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima were blowed their conchs. Their conchs are mentioned here as a transcendental conchs, and we know how means there is a story behind how they have acquired these conchs, and it's a common custom, whenever a warrior dress up in his armors and he fix up, then he is supposed to carry his conch also. So it's a part of his armor. So in that way, so every king and every soldier have their own conchs they used to carry. And in the previous verse we have seen, in the side of Kauravas, they are blowing the conchs, and they make a lot of sound by trumpets and drums. They were blowing all these things. And in this today's verse, you can see Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima were blowing their conchs, and in the next verse you can see others were blowing their conchs. And here especially their conchs are being mentioned as a transcendental conchs. And we see here the conchal of a Krishna is mentioned as Panchajanya, and Arjuna's conchal was called as Devadatta, and Bhima, his conchal is called as Poundra. So we know Lord Krishna is the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, and to do some kind of pastimes in this material world, he comes, and whenever he comes along with his paraphernalia and with his devotees. So we can see as Krishna is eternally transcendental in his abode Golok Vrindavan, so he has his paraphernalia his flute, his peacock feather, and his Sudarshan chakra, and this conchal, and bow, arrow, whatever he has, they're all eternally there with him all the time in Golok Vrindavan. So now Lord Krishna comes to this material world to fulfill few devotees' desire, and to annihilate the demons, he takes the incarnation in this material world to reduce the burden of the earth and to establish the dharma. He comes here. So when he comes, the paraphernalia or the devotees who are there, they also descends along with the Lord. So in that way, this conchal Panchajanya also descends in this material world. And we know Lord is eternal, he don't take birth. But to make us this conditioned souls to understand how he descends, how he takes birth, and how he does the pastimes with the devotees. So he also like as a common human being, how they take birth, like Lord also took birth, so that we can understand. And also, like when Sudarshan Chakra descends, when this Panchajanya also descends, and his peacock feather, his flute, when it descends to the material earth, so that is being gifted to the Lord Krishna by some other person. It all belongs to Krishna only. So similarly, this Panchajanya conch shell has a story behind it. When Krishna, at the age of 10, he left, he was there in Mathura, doing his Mathura pastimes. So one day he decided that he and his brother supposed to go to Gurukul and learn the Vedic scriptures from a bona fide guru. So he selected Sandipani Muni as his guru. And Sandipani Muni, when Krishna and Balram went to his ashram, Gurukul, and it is a custom that everyone supposed to go to Gurukul and learn from a guru, staying in the Gurukul for a certain age till they finish their study. So in that way, Lord Krishna and Balram both went to Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, and they accepted Sandipani Muni as their guru. And Sandipani Muni was very happy to see that Krishna and Balram was accepted him as a guru, and he was very happy to teach all kind of scriptures like Vedas, Upavedas, Upanishads, and so many other scriptures, and so many arts material art like Dhanur Vidya, and even he has been taught by 64 arts, every day one art is being taught to them, dancing, singing, dressing up, and so many other kind of art like this. So there are 64 arts. They have learned these 64 arts in 64 days. And they are not just ordinary students. They were extremely very sharp, intelligent students. And as soon as the teacher recites once, they used to able to remember whole thing. And Sandipani Muni was very happy with the behavior of Krishna and Arjuna. So once they finished their studies in the Gurukul, because they were extremely very intelligent, extraordinary students, so they learned very fast, everything very fast, very quickly, and they finished their studies very fast. And at the end, so Lord Krishna and Balram approached Sandipani Muni and requested, what can they give as a Guru Dakshina? Then Sandipani Muni discussed with his wife, and Sandipani Muni requested Lord Krishna that in they lost his son in an ocean, and they don't have any son now. So they requested, they want their son back. So taking their guru's order to their head, so they went to the Dwaraka near the ocean, and they petitioned the Lord of Ocean, Varuna Dev, to give back the spiritual master's son. Then Varun Dev, he requested to Lord Krishna, saying that no, he didn't do that. He is not the culprit of taking the spiritual master's son. Then Krishna asked, no, who is the one who has taken it? Then they said, there is one demon, he have taken it. So the demon name is Panchajana. So this demon is in a form, he has taken a creature of a snail, snail. So its body is covered with a conch, and he stays in that form. And since the demon was very, very powerful. So even Varunde was not able to conquer it. He was not able to defeat that demon. So then, as soon as Krishna heard this, he jumped into the water and went searching for this demon, and he caught him, and he killed the demon. But later, when he searched, he didn't find the son of the spiritual master there. But since he has killed this demon, so to benefit the demon, he has taken that conch shell and kept it with him. So the conch shell being named by the demon called Panchajana. So it is called, the conch shell is named as Panchajana. So the Krishna's conch shell is called as Panchajana. And then he went to Lord Emeraj to find out to bring back the spiritual master Sandeep Muni's son. Then when he entered his kingdom, Emeraj's kingdom, then he blew this conch shell. Then as soon as Emeraj heard this sound, transcendental sound which is blown by Lord, by the transcendental personality, so he understood Lord is present here. Then he went and he invited the Lord, and he honored the Lord, he respected the Lord, he worshipped the Lord. Then he asked what is the purpose for him to come to this place. Then Lord said so according to the laws of the nature, so the Sandipani Muni's son has been killed and he has been taken away. So now I have came here to revive him back, and I want to give as a gift to my spiritual master. Then Lord Emeraj was very happy, and he returned Sandeep Muni's son to Lord Krishna. And Krishna and Balram both took the son, and he gave their son to the Sandeep Muni. And Sandeep Muni was very happy by the attitude and the behavior of the Lord Krishna and Balram. Then he blessed both the Krishna and Balram that they will never ever forget what they have learnt for the eternity. And in that way, and Lord Krishna and Balram asked is there anything to have to be done? Then they said no, they are very pleased, they don't have any more desire. So in this way, Lord Krishna got this conch shell Panchajanya. So this conch shell was there all the time with the Lord Krishna in the Golok Vrindavan. And when the Krishna descends, the story of Jai and Vijay. When Jai and Vijay stopped the four Kumaras to enter into the Vaikuntha, then these four Kumaras cursed Jai and Vijay, saying that you are not fit to be here as a doorkeeper, because you don't see who is qualified to enter, who is not qualified. You are differentiating. So you are not fit to be there in a Vaikuntha planet. So they cursed this Jai and Vijay to take 3 births in this material world as a demons. And this all happened because Lord inspired Jai and Vijay to stop them, and Lord inspired 4 Kumaras within the heart to curse them. Because Lord had a desire to have this fighting mood. He wanted to fulfill his desire as a fighting, Vidya Rasa, this is called. So, but who is capable of fighting with the Lord? Only his devotees. Other than that, no one is capable of fighting with the Lord. So, Lord has given them 3 births, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranaksha in the first birth, and the second birth is Ravana and Kumbhakarna. In third, he is who is that? Yes, Shishupal and Dantavakra. So in this way, they descended here to give Lord pleasure as a Virya Rasa. So they want to give a pleasure to the Lord, and after that they return back to their abode. Similarly, this conch shell Panchajanya was there eternally with the Lord. But to make us to understand how he received this conch shell, this pastime has been enacted. So the conch shell descends to the material world and takes this a demon form, so that Lord can come and kill and take this conch. Similarly, the Arjuna was having a conch shell called Devadatta, and this conch shell also have a lot of story behind it. And one day, when these Pandavas were in exile for 13 years, so Vyasadeva visited them. So when Vyasadeva visited them, and he approached Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he said he will teach him some kind of vidya with which, with this mantra, they can travel with the faster than the wind and faster than the mind. And Vyasadeva says to Yudhishthira, saying that you teach this vidya to Arjuna also, so that in the future, when you need any weapons or money for the sacrifice, so he will use this vidya and he goes to celestial planets and he can acquire those whatever he is needed. So in this way, he taught this powers to Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira taught this kind of knowledge to Arjuna. And Arjuna was going to the Mandara mountain, and then he was going to, with his mind, he was with that speed of mind, he was able to travel, and he was going to celestial planets also. So one time, this Kurukshetra war, for that they need these weapons to fight. So Arjuna thought, let me go and get some celestial weapons from the demigods. So he went, he traveled, it took one day for him to travel to the celestial planets, and he went to the Indraloka. And Lord Indra, Indra came to know that Arjuna was here. So, but he disguised himself as a Brahmana, and he approaches Arjuna, saying that, stopping him, that he is not qualified or not eligible to go into these planets, saying that only those who have accumulated lot of punya, they are only supposed to enter into this world. And the one who has given up this mentality of fighting, so they are being allowed. Kshatriyas are not allowed, only Brahmanas are allowed. And other than Brahmanas, no one is else allowed. So in this way, he was stopping Arjuna to enter. Then Arjuna says no, I am not here to be a resident of this spiritual world, this celestial world. So I am just came here for a mission. My mission is to collect celestial weapons, so that I can help my brother in fighting and establishing this dharma. So I am here for the mission, and please don't stop me. So I am in need of these weapons. Then Indra was very happy to see that how he is helping his brother to establish the dharma. Then he show himself he is Indra himself. Then he bow down to Indra, and he asked I am in need of celestial weapons, please help me to get it done. Then Indra first suggest Arjuna to go and meet Lord Shiva. Then Arjuna went to meet Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva, in his disguise as a hunter, he was there. And when he was searching for Lord Shiva, and the hunter was also there when he was searching, and Arjuna, he come with contact with an boar, I think, a animal, kind of a demon. He is going to attack Arjuna. So Arjuna, he thought this boar, without any harm. I didn't do any harm to this animal, but still it is going to attack me. So it is fit to be punished. So he thought, like, no, let me kill it. So he, shot an arrow towards the towards the boar. And simultaneously, this hunter in disguise of, Lord Shiva in disguise of hunter, he also shoot an arrow at the same time. So both arrows simultaneously hit the boar and the boar died. Now the hunter come to Arjuna and says that Arjuna says to hunter that no, I have killed it because it is been attacking me. I didn't do any harm, so it is fit to be get punished. So I killed it. But hunter says that I kill first, not you. Then they got into an argument, and they started into a fight. So hunter was shooting arrows, and Arjuna with his some of the weapons are being given by Agni, and so some other demigods. They were using that, and they were shooting. The quiver which is being given by Agni, it never ends. The arrows will never get end. As soon as you throw an arrow, immediately there will be a lot of arrows again filled automatically. So what happens? He was using those arrows continuously, like shooting them to the hunter, and hunter didn't got any effect. It doesn't hurt him at all. As soon as arrow comes in front of him, and it fell down. And for his astonishment, like wonder, this quiver was not having any arrows furthermore. Then Arjuna was shocked, saying that no, how come this is happening? It never ends arrows, but today there was no arrows at all. Then he kept his quiver and go aside, and he started attacking with sword, mace, and different weapons. But finally, he was not able to conquer the hunter. Then he bows down, saying that no, you are not an ordinary person. Then Lord Shiva was very happy that he has given that kind of fight, which is very pleasing to Lord Shiva. Then he shows himself, he reveal his identity. Then Arjuna bows down, and Lord Shiva, because Arjuna was very given a lot of pleasure to Lord Shiva, he gives Pashupasta Astra, it's a bow and arrow. So he says don't use this bow and arrow on an ordinary person, because if you use it, generally it will devastate whole earth. So it has a power to devastate, because generally Lord Shiva, his job is to annihilate. So he does a very vigorously dance, where with his dance he generally devastates this whole with a fire coming out from his mouth. He will burn all these planetary systems. So he says don't use this on an ordinary person. So it may end up doing some other things. So you can use in an appropriate way in a right time only. And then Lord Shiva says now you can go and approach Indra. So Arjuna, he got this weapon and he approaches Indra. Then Indra says he also very happy, and he also gives his chariot and horses and so many other weapons. And even demigods were very happy, because to see Arjuna being there in the celestial world, and they were happy, and they are given different Agni gave Agni gave one astra which can tie anyone. I forgot the name. So like this, different weapons he accumulated. Then Indra, so he says now you can get into my chariot, and my chariot driver will take you to my kingdom. And both of them, they went to the kingdom Amaravati, and there Indra gave a transcendental vision to see the the wealth of Indra, that celestial world. And when Arjuna, when he saw the opulence of that Indra Loka, he was very surprised to see it. He never saw that. And you see, even though this higher planetary systems is within this material world, there is upper planetary systems, middle planetary systems, and lower planetary systems. And lower planetary systems, all the the one who has did sins, they are being given those, they are being sent to those lower planetary systems. And the upper planetary system, the one who has acquired a lot of punya, past credits, they have been eligible to go there and enjoy there. And the lower planetary systems, based on their sins, they will get punishment. And this earthly planet, the planet where you are given an opportunity whether to go to the upper planetary systems or lower, based on your activities. And this is all comes into the material world. And there is one more world called spiritual world, which is beyond this material world. And when you see, when the affluence of this material world was so much, and what to speak of the spiritual world, there is unlimited. So there is no comparison with this, the affluence what Arjuna saw seen. So in this way, Arjuna was given this vision to see the opulence of Indraloka. Then he has been given a seat next to the Indra, and they were having a lot of time spending there. It is said Arjuna spent 4 years in the celestial world, because that is the 4 years of earthly time, based on the earthly time. But if you see, the same 4 years of a spiritual lesson, higher planets is different. Different planets has different time zones. So it is said he has spent 4 days of celestial time in Indraloka. That is equivalent to 4 years of this material world, earthly planet. So then later, he says it's a time for me to go. So he is not here to enjoy this celestial world. So he has to go back and help his brother in having a dharma, to establish dharma. He is supposed to assist his brother. So in this way, he come back with a lot of weapons. And here you can see Bhima is also having his own consul called Paundra. And here Bhima is named as Rukodhara. So Rukodhara, it is called ferocious eater. So the another name of Bhima is called Rukodhara. Because Bhima, why he is called ferocious eater? Because he has such a fire in his belly that it keep on growing. It never reduces. It keep on increasing. So because of that, he can eat ferociously. As much as he want, he can eat it. And he never ever this fire never ever reduces. So because of that fire, he can able to eat whatever he want. So ferociously he can eat. So his name is called Rukodhara. And even the word Bhima is also named here because he can perform Herculean tasks, such as he was killing a big demon, Hidimba, and so many other demons he has killed. And not only that, in Mahabharata it is said Bhima is such a powerful that when they were in exile, so they were keep traveling from one forest to another forest. So one point of a time, so all were very tired, they are very weak, they are not able to walk. So Bhima, what he did, he had such a huge body, he made everyone to sit on his back comfortably, and he started running. And when he was running such a speed, and he was simultaneously clearing the path with his hands. And when he was clearing the path such a way all the trees were being uprooted. He is such a perfect, he don't need had to use an axe, or he no need to use a sword something. So he was such a a great personality. So he can perform Herculean tasks, right? So Bhima was glorified in this way. So in this way, you can see the pastime of a Lord Krishna accepting a spiritual master. It is an example where to show that everyone supposed to be approaching a spiritual master and take a right guidance from them. And Arjuna, following the orders of his elder brother and helping him in for establishing dharma. So these kind of lessons we can learn from the Pandavas especially. So in this way, they were blowing their conch shell, and it is said when they blow this conch shell, the other party were terrified. They were having a lot of they got what we call fear. They got fear in their hearts by just the sound that made by that conch shell that made them to feel fear. Before they were very confident and blowing conch shell, thinking that they are going to be victorious, Kauravas. But later, when they heard just by the sound of these conch shells, transcendental conch shells, and moreover, Krishna is there on the side of Pandavas, so the victory was confirmed for the Pandavas. But Kauravas, just by hearing the sound of this transcendental conch shells, they were in fear and thinking that they are going to lose this war. So in this way, in the further slokas, we can see how other people Yudhishthir, Nakal and Sahadev, they were blowing their own conch shells, and how that sound also made them feel terrified. So in this way, especially from this, we can learn that whoever take the side of Lord Krishna and the devotees, so there is always a victory. You can see today is Dashara and Vijay Dasami. So how Lord Ramchandra got victorious, and just by assisting, these monkeys were assisting Lord Ramchandra, and Ravan never thought that he will be defeated by the monkeys. So just whoever we are, when we take the shelter of the Lord and take the sides of the Lord according to dharma, and we execute the instructions what Lord given in the Bhagavad Gita, then definitely there is a victory, and there is no defeat in that. There is no doubt in that. In the end of Bhagavad Gita also, it is said, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, there is victory is guaranteed. And there is not only victory, there is all opulence, wealth, and everything. So in this way, I'll just pause today's class. So if you have any comments, doubts, or questions, I can take one or two. No doubts? Okay. Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।